we can take that and put that into 3 dimensions. So along the bottom here is distance, east-west, north-south. The black line is the movement in this direction here. And then factor upon that, the depth. And here we go. So this crocodile went down, sat there for a while, rested, and then swam back up to the surface. A second example, in the same case here, the animal was at the surface. It essentially just dropped down. And often when you see a crocodile in the river system, it sits there and breathes out and just slowly just drops down. Well, it's pretty apparent from this one here, that's probably what it's doing, maybe a small tail beat there. Once it got down, it kicked away and then remained stationary from the sway here. Halfway through the dive, we got some tail beats here. It moved along and then stayed stationary again, and then at the very end, it kicked itself back up to the surface. And so again, we can put this in 3 dimensions. So it dropped down, it's close to 4 metres. It rested there for a while. It then swam along, rested there for a while, and then swam back up to the surface. That's what we've done in the past. In August this year, we returned back to Lakefield National Park. It was the place where most of us said goodbye to Steve for the last time. And it's full credit to Bob and to Terry to say we have to continue the legacy. And we all went back there and continued the research in Steve's name. Incredibly hard for these guys, in fact for all of us, but that shows the dedication of the Irwins. And it was actually only a few days after Steve had passed that both Bob and Terry gave a commitment to me, which I couldn't believe, that we have to continue the work, the research in his name. And so what we've done is started a new set of telemetry studies. We went back up to the North Kennedy River, and this time we're utilising acoustic tracking technology. We really wanted to look at a river system in depth over a long period of time and with a large number of animals. And we wanted to look at the association between animals and how they utilise their system, not only within the river, but in isolated waterholes off the river. And what we did was that we fitted we caught 27 animals, I should say Australia Zoo caught 27 animals, and we inserted into those animals these acoustic pingers, which give off an ultrasonic ping, and not only does it deliver back their location, but the body temperature and the depth at which the animal is sitting. So it encompasses body temperature as well as diving data. We placed an array of 20 monitoring stations along the river system and in isolated waterholes, and these are currently collecting data. And this is the receiver here, which picks up the animal within that vicinity, afloat, and this is all submerged underwater and anchored in place. After the 3 weeks we'd spent up there, I went down to the first download. We had over 100,000 data points in just over 2 weeks. So it's going to be pretty exciting and quite a mammoth task in a year's time to see what kind of data that we're collecting. Finally, I'd just like to end with the question, why is this information important? A lot of it's natural history, but understanding the animal is very, very important. Most of you are probably aware that in the 60s and 70s, crocodiles in Queensland were hunted almost to the brink of extinction. They were fair game. People went out there and hunted them. And there was almost local extinction in a number of areas. Their recovery is slow. In fact, a survey done this year showed that there was hardly any increases in crocodile numbers. And the numbers in Queensland are between 10 and 20 times less than in the Northern Territory. They are listed as vulnerable by the Nature Conservation Act 1992. Their CITES listed. They're also on the IUCN Red List of threatened species. Yet they're still threats to crocodiles. Very few survive to reproduce and to be those large animals that we want to study. Very, very few. Less than 1% are able to make it to maturity. And that is hampered in part by feral pigs. This is actually on Lakefield National Park. And what you're seeing here are feral pigs scattered around. These go along, they root around and disturb the nest and eat the eggs. The next few slides, if there's youngsters in the audience, aren't particularly pleasant. You may wish to look away. Some animals turn up. This is courtesy of Mark Reed. Apparently healthy. Upon an autopsy, what you find inside is a large hook and a major blood vessel that's been punctured, and the animal dies. A large animal, a breeding animal, that will fail to provide an input into the genetics. Bycatchers and fishing nets, we have no idea what numbers are caught in the nets of Australia. And the classic trophy hunting animals, people wanting to take their trophies, either their heads or their belly skins. Pretty disgusting stuff. And then, of course, there's the constant call for the culling of crocodiles, and there's even plans to harvest crocodiles in Queensland, or at least their eggs. Yet this is a vulnerable species. So our aim is to provide a better understanding of crocodiles, of their natural history, and we hope that understanding, that improved understanding, leads to better management and better education. We have to learn to live with crocodiles, not bash them as what happened 2 weeks ago up in Cairns, which was an action apparently condoned by the Mayor of Cairns. An animal only 1.8 metres long that was bashed to death. So our aim is to get a better understanding, to aid in the conservation and the protection of crocodiles. They are remarkable animals. They do remarkable things. They're iconic. They're fascinating for biologists, and they deserve our protection. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge funding sources, the Australian Research Council, who kindly provided a linkage grant for our work, but also provided me with a professorial fellowship, which enables me to spend that time in the field and to kind of reduce my admin and my teaching loads. The huge funding and the logistical support by Australia Zoo, it is in the millions that has gone into this research program. Wildlife Warriors Worldwide, again, provides crucial funds as part of Australia Zoo, Discovery Channel, and then the Charles Tanner bequest, which really started the satellite tracking work off. A herpetologist up in Cooktown, Andrew Skyfleet, Kevin Weldon also provided support. And then there's the people. Australia Zoo, incredible team to work with. Large team, highly professional, and run by some superb people. Terry and Bob, as I mentioned, their leadership was outstanding in August, and really was a credit to them how they ran their team so professionally, and that we got the job done, and the science continues. Shelley and Barry, they run our camp and feed me well, too well. The incredible Croc team, QPWS, Mark Reed leads a team of wildlife rangers who have assisted us. And at UQ, my two postdocs who've been involved in the project, Peter Kraft, Hamish Campbell, Professor Gordon Grigg, who attracted me to UQ to work on crocodiles many years ago, and Danielle Shanahan, who's been doing a lot of the mapping work for us.